Guys, after subscribing to this channel, please make sure that you also press the bell icon so that no notification, no new video of mine, any educational video, is missed by anybody.
Okay. So I welcome everybody once again in tonight's class. And since we're just starting up, let me just give you a couple of very, very important announcements. We're through with most of the gynae schedule and gynae part, all right? Now, there are some couple of classes which are very beautifully already there in my, theory course, which are infertility, nicely given. Puberty and amenorrhea, these were another very oft asked classes, but they're beautifully, my lectures are there in the classes in the updated theory course. For those students who still feel that I need to take a proper complete class, I have no problems in taking it, but you have to just be discreet whether you want the classes or not. And I'll go back again and see my notes and my classes, because as far as I understand, this doing another class on the same topic adds to a lot of confusion, not only for reading for the first time but also revising. So whether to revise from the ma'am's live class, or whether to go for the notes, all these other problems. So I'm done from my side. I'm done with the gynae module, all those topics which had not been included in the updated theory course properly or systematically. I've taken classes on them. But if you still feel that this topic we need, in a different style, or we need everything together, or you feel that, ma'am, make this as your main base and that you can, forego with, I have no issues. All right. But I need that, that strength of students to let me take this decision. That is one thing. The second thing is students, I've already mentioned this before in my last lecture, and I'll mention it again today. We have this provision of help for my DNB students in the DNB office. I had seen my students struggle a lot. A lot of students especially from South, have been calling me that, ma'am, we couldn't get hold of our provisional pass certificate. My thesis is not being, it's not showing that my thesis is being accepted or not. I want to change my college. What is the procedure? People in the DNB office, they are neither replying the mail, or they are replying the same automated, mail is coming back again. They are not picking up the phone. So these things, they really hurt me a lot. And I started with this venture of mine in which I wanted a little help for all you students in various parts of the country, and that is not only for obstetrics and gynecology, it's for all the DNB streams. And I wanted to help the students to be able to reach out to DNB office without you physically being there. I understand that you are more focused on your studies, and this kind of last moment hassles, they are just spoiling your time, your energy, your attention, your focus. So because of which I took everything in my hands, sent a person from my own trusted executive to the place on behalf of my students, so that he can fight your case on your behalf, and you end up saving on your time, your energy, your precious focus, and you can just focus on your studies. So that was a very important part for me to tell you this, because it's a direct channel through me. Okay, this person who's approaching is approaching, it's because he's my trusted person. So it's very essential that all of you understand this. And if you have any problem, not just you alone, your friends also who are having any issues with the DNB office, please feel free to approach me. That's the second announcement. The third and very important announcement is that a couple of you students have started approaching us about your thesis, not just to find a way out to get clarification on thesis, or the thesis acceptance is pending, whatever. You've also approached us for making the thesis. That means you have the data, printing, typing, making notes, charts, getting it typed, printed, and compiled, and send it back to you. So we all sat down, my team and everybody, back-end team, we all sat down and found out that we can manage this thing for you. The thesis part, I have a very, very elaborate team set up already, who is expert in doing your typing, your these pie charts, pie diagrams. We even have an analyst with us who can help you out with your thesis work. So again, feel free to approach us for your thesis work as well. So all you have to do is just give us the data online. Try to be more, compiled, more discreet. Just send us a zip file, or send us a complete PDF together, in which you can just send us this is supposed to be written, marked in the copy book, whatever notebook you have, and the references very discreetly. Reference for this is this, reference for this is this, and we can help you out. Type it, print it, and deliver it to your address. So that venture more, we are starting off again because of the this trauma that I've seen in my students going through thesis. There were students who have called me crying, regarding their thesis work, that ma'am, I do not understand what my mentor really wants, but I've done it and overdone it, done it again and again, and then my mentor's not happy. For commas and full stops, I'm getting, scolding. My charts are not up to the mark. I'm not very well versed with typing. I'm not very well versed with making diagrams. And, it's taking a toll on me. And, 4 months, 5 months, just go and making thesis. So anyways, this is one more venture. We are starting off. Like I said, I have a team already ready who've been doing this work for obviously other students and on a very personal level before, but they are very well experienced in making the thesis and compiling the thesis, and obviously need be sending it back to your address. But the data you will have to provide us, okay? Obviously, you have done the research work, so we need the data from you, and obviously the printing, compiling, that we're going to manage. Right? So I think that much information, those many announcements are sufficient. Now I would want to start the class, and starting this class tonight, we're not just going to talk about anatomy. Obviously, it's going to be very, very boring teaching my students who are now postgraduates just anatomy. This you've done, you've already finished with when you were MBBS students, right? So tonight will be a punch of applied anatomy with anatomy. So certain concepts are going to be made by you. Please, all of you, I request everyone who's there in my class right now to at least go and see my anatomy previous lectures, because especially the perineum, the pelvis, I have explained beautifully with graphics, with good diagrams, with presentations. It's beautiful. I mean, there are things I'm still not happy about in my notes. Of course, my students, they like all my notes, but I'm not happy. I want to give them more beautiful, so they don't have to do any effort with all mnemonics and everything for you to remember and recollect. But that class, those few classes that I've taken, especially the one on perineum, the pelvic floor muscles and stuff, it's beautiful, classes. Why? Because I put in a lot of effort to make you understand, this urogenital diaphragm, deep perineal pouch, superficial perineal pouch, and their boundaries and everything. So I'm pretty sure those of you who have attended those classes will be able to recollect it better and will do one step better in your class than your rest of the students, because they are not just concept creating, they are, it just gets inside you. It just filters and percolates and sits inside you. It's that kind of concept that I've given in that class. So always, please just go and see my anatomy other lectures as well. Let's begin with that, introduction. Let's begin with the first thing. So today I'm going to be talking about the different organs. All right. So we'll talk about the uterus, the ovary, the cervix, the fallopian tube, and if time allows, then we'll go to the blood supply. But otherwise, I wanted to take blood supply separately in my next class, my upcoming class, because it's elaborately asked. And I don't want to hurry you up in this class because I want to finish the blood supply. So that I'm going to take up. Let it be a 25 minutes class. Let it be a 30 minutes class. But I want to take it as a separate class to do full justice with the blood supply of the pelvis. So let's start with uterus. Okay. Now, the non-pregnant uterus is basically a hollow, pear-shaped, piriform muscular organ. You all know that, right? It is situated in a pelvic cavity. Obviously, it's not an abdominal organ. It's in the pelvis between the bladder anteriorly and the rectum posteriorly. All right. So we'll be discussing this when I talk about the relations of uterus. So how is it done? So it's bladder is anterior, rectum is posterior. Uterus normally lies in anteverted position and anteflexed position. All right. Now, anteverted and anteflexed. Quickly write down in the chat box what exactly do you mean by anteverted? What is the relationship? And what is anteflexed? Quickly, guys. And this much I expect from all my students. What is anteverted and what is anteflexed? So it's both. Okay. Where is my chat box? Who all are writing? Let me see. Okay, guys, come on. Yes. Am I getting some answers? Am I getting some answers, guys? So what is anteverted and what is anteflexed? One is the relationship of the body with the cervix. What else? One is the angle between. Come on, guys. Cervix to the vagina, is it? That's okay. That's okay. Usha, one is the relationship. The angle. Okay, I don't have that diagram right now, but one is, this is the one where it goes, and this is one, and this is the other one. So this is the relationship of body with the cervix with the vagina. The angle, the angulation is like this. It's not just simply bent, it's bent in a particular fashion. The cervix is also bent to the vagina. The body of the uterus is bent onto the cervix. So it's both anteverted and anteflex, which is the reason why when the patient lies down, it becomes kind of straightened, and then you pull it off with the tenaculum or the forceps or your valsalum, it becomes straightened out, and then you can do your proper, and even then you require the uterine sound. The uterine sound is also made somewhat like that. Even after correcting all the anteflexion and anteversion, it's still a little anteverted. Anyways, so yeah, now this is one thing which is a slight rotation to the to the right. So every time you correct it when you're doing this cesarean section, otherwise you'll end up giving a little bigger, longer incision towards the other side. You might just nick the uterine artery of the other side because it's slightly dextrorotated and becomes a little more in pregnancy, more exaggerated. I hope all of you are doing this. Every time you do a cesarean section, how many of you have done individual cesarean sections? I'm sure in government colleges you get a lot of them to do. In corporate hospitals you get a little lesser to do. How many of you are doing independently cesarean sections? Come on guys, quickly. Because I see that my students from especially the corporate hospitals, lots of them are buying the cesarean workshop. This was basically the attempt of starting the cesarean workshop was to make you understand the basics. Okay. And I'm really sorry I've not been adding a lot of videos of late, but now I think I'll be taking up a couple of surgical videos with you, and we'll be adding up that as well. Come on guys, be quick. So cesarean sections, come on. How many of you have been doing individually, yourself? No? Not really? Is it? Nobody's very shy to tell me, and I'll not ask you any questions regarding it. I'm just telling you that what happens in cesarean sections is you correct the dextro version or dextro rotation first, and then you give the nick. This is what I'm trying to say. Because I'm telling you about the applied anatomy of the uterus. The uterus is slightly shifted towards the right side, dextro rotation. So you correct the dextro rotation, put it in between, ask somebody to hold it, and then give a nick. This is what I wanted to tell you. Now, this is important from surgical point of view because like I just told you, right? So basically what is the, length of uterus? Uterus is about 6 to 8 centimeters long, 5 centimeters broad, and about 2.5 centimeters thick. Now, even from that small one line, I can give you a lot of applied anatomy. Uterus is about 6 to 8 centimeters long. So how many times you people have done DNC and you first did a UCL? Uterocervical length. The most important place where it's very important for you to know the UCL. What is that place? Where exactly do you need to know the uterocervical length before you proceed further with the case? Guys, you need to be interactive with me tonight because it's a very, very boring class otherwise, okay? Only Usha is answering and Geeta, my love. These two, girls, they are taking up. Okay, DNC is one. Even more important than DNC is one more step, one more procedure, which, UCL becomes very important. Yes, excellent. Putting up the copper T. How would you know otherwise how deep you have to go, correct? So UCL becomes very important, especially, of course, if it's not a postpartum uterus. Because there are people who are putting copper T immediately postpartum, right? So then you have to go very deep inside a place somewhere there. I don't know why people are doing that. I never ever put postpartum copper Ts. I just don't like them. They are the most nuisance of all the patients. They get lost, they get embedded, they get expelled. So postpartum copper T doesn't work for me. Mirena insertion. Yes, Soja. Very good. Excellent. Mirena insertion, called like copper T insertion, is one of the devices that you put inside. And you need to know the length, the UCL in that, which is why it is important. And 2.5 centimeters thickness when we talk about of the uterus, it differs actually. Lower and upper segment, it differs, especially at the time of pregnancy. Upper segment is far more thicker than the lower segment, and this is very, very important when it comes to previous uterine, scar. Though we do not have a lot of dependency on the ultrasound for previous, scar thickness, but still 2.5, anything below 2 becomes a little, tricky for us because we're thinking that probably she's going in labor and she might have a scar Ds.